All right, we got the JD Vance thing. By the way, hit that like, share the show, etc., etc. Thank you for becoming a member. Look at that. Lost in Technicolor. Subscribe, everybody. And by the way, welcome trolls. I figured out why we started getting more trolls again. We'd had a drop-off in the amount of trolls giving us the magic traffic that gets us spread out, and I figured out why. I started, after Shitter went away, I did Rumble for a little while, but it was a pain in the ass because you had to do the same thing that you have to do with Instagram, which is like load in creds at the beginning of everything, and it wasn't fucking worth it. But now it's available directly inside Restream, and I had a free channel because I shut down Shitter, so I popped it in there, and now we're back on Rumble. Now, nobody really watches Rumble at all. It's like it's all Iranian bot farms. All the whole network, the whole thing is kept afloat by like Heritage Foundation kind of money, you know, like conservative think tanks paying, you know, right-wing influencers to do shows on there. And then the other like the other audience entirely, like 80% of it is Iranian bot farms watching slap fighting. The power slap? Right. Hold on, there was a what? 1 second. 1 second. Oh, it's a small plane, though. Emergency crews are responding to an explosion in northeast Philadelphia after a small plane crashed in the area of Roosevelt. 2 people were aboard the plane. There are multiple injuries. Multiple homes are on fire. It's unclear at this time what led to the crash, where the plane was coming from. The status of those injured is not available either. That's terrible. There was just another plane crash. Although this is a private plane, it seems. So, again, he's not going to give a shit. Neither will anybody else. But we will keep abreast of it until we find out what happened. Hopefully nobody in the houses was harmed. But that's the scary part. 2 people aboard the plane. There are multiple injuries reported on the ground. Multiple homes are on fire. Yeah. Cotman and Roosevelt following the crash. I don't know what to hope about the people who were flying the plane. But the people in the houses, it seems only injuries. Fingers crossed. Wait, 6 dead? Multiple injuries? Because this is breaking right now. I'm just looking at the breaking news that's in front of me. Yikes. Small plane crash. Let's see. This is in Philadelphia. This is what I'm looking at, by the way. Philly plane crash. Small aircraft reportedly crashes into northeast Philadelphia. You guys remember when Trump was in last time? That dude who flew his plane into the IRS. I want to say it was in Austin, but it might have been someplace else in Texas. Remember that shit? Emergency officials are responding to reports of a plane crash in northeast Philadelphia around 6 p.m. Witnesses reported multiple cars were on fire. After the plane went down, as neighbors nearby heard loud explosions. Reports from eyewitnesses thought they were hearing thunder. Oof. There's the video of the crash apparently happening. We don't know. Ooh. Whoa. Yeah, that was not a slow descent or a controlled descent. Shit. Steve Keys in the report stepping over debris and observing several active fires. A worker from nearby business said he saw a big explosion of light from out of nowhere. Yikes. This is a residential area, so oof. And you know, because it's Philadelphia, Trump is just going to assume that everybody involved was black. Like, he's just going to do that. Fucking barf.
Mr. Vice President.
All right. This is part 1 of JD Vance. And the title is, I have not watched it. Title is Trump has, quote, incredible energy and a genius way of making decisions. Genius way of making decisions. That sounds like a paraphrase.
President, great to see you.
Good morning. Thank you for
First of all, congratulations. All right, has it sunk in yet? Hillbilly elegy.
Yep.
Now the Vice President of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. You know, it hasn't sunk in. And, you know, I joke that I took 2 wrong turns and I ended up, you know, a hallway down from the Oval Office. And it's just an incredible thing.
Yeah, we all feel the same way, stupid. You took 2 wrong turns and ended up down the hallway from the Oval?
You know, the first time I'd ever actually been to the Oval Office was with President Trump as his vice.
Yikes, CSL. Yeah, I know that area too because of doing stand-up at Healing there. It's one of my favorite clubs in the country. I love Philly.
President last Tuesday.
Never been there.
Had never been to the Oval Office.
Wow.
And, you know, he always talks about, you know, you have these executives, foreign heads of state. The Oval Office just has a particular power, and I certainly felt it. And it was just amazing to stand in that room. And I remember at the time thinking, I wish that I had something profound to say. And I just
yeah, that's not going to
stood
happen.
in there saying, wow, this is great.
Wow, I just realized how totally unqualified I am to be standing here, and my boss is like 2 snorts away from a ischemic stroke. Shit.
Crazy, right?
No, I had the same experience when I went in. President Bush was in office at the time, and I remember I thought it was surreal. I was like, is that really him?
Yeah.
And it is a special place. And then, of course, Trump has his little red button, which is next to him, which is not the red button.
Which he screwed with me about that, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah, no, so we're just mid-conversation. I think we were with Senator Thune and Speaker Johnson.
Oh, my God. Like, remember when, again, everything's a fucking reboot. Everything is a reboot with these motherfuckers. Everything. Hold on one second. I want to find this. Give me 1 second. Let's see. It's probably on here. Reagan announces nuclear strike joke.
I'm pleased
Yeah, where is it?
to tell you today that I've signed.
They don't. It's just the audio of it, I think. But
My fellow Americans, I'm pleased to tell you today that I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
right. So that actually led to a red alert. Let's see.
I've signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes.
I'm gonna get a fucking copyright strike just for having that music playing in the background. But you guys remember that? Like, it's the stupidest shit.
And he has this sort of beautiful, ornate wooden box on his desk with a red button, and he presses it.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks over at me, and I'm like, sir, is that something bad just happened?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I just ordered a Diet Coke.
That's what it is. It's the Diet.
He didn't even set it up? The fuck? What? Hold on. Okay, let's.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
Thanks, Jet, for this. It's great. At the very least, here's how you do it. You've got the red button on your desk. You're going to play a joke on your simple-minded VP acting like you want to give him a fucking heart attack. You pull out of a drawer. There's the phones on the desk, and then you have a button that plays like a phone ringing sound effect. Wait, do I have one? Hold on, I probably do. Let's see. Let's work this out. Sample sound effects. Really, this thing doesn't have a phone? What a lame, silly thing. But you just do this. You're like, oh shit. Oh shit. And you pull a phone out of the desk and you go, yes? Damn it. Well, won't they listen to reason? Son of... Well, for fuck's sake, just... All right, I'll do what I have to do for America. And then you put it back in the drawer, and then you pull out your red button and you go, hallelujah.
Oh, come on
and then somebody brings you a Diet Coke. You're just gonna he just opens the box and go, It's just weak. I'm just saying there's no follow through.
Coke, red button, and it comes running in. Then he'll ask you, would you like one?
Yeah, exactly.
And you go, no, I wouldn't.
I've known President Trump for over 30 years.
Sure.
Had a close
As client number 3 would know client number 1 of a fixer in New York.
relationship with him in all those years. And he and I, when he was going to run, thinking about running, we had arguments for hours deep into the night about, I said, I'm not voting for you if you're not a conservative. Mm-hmm. You really are now getting to know him very well.
Sure.
What have you learned about him?
Well, it's interesting. One, I've learned that he has the most interesting decision-making process.
But is it interesting, though, his decision-making process? So how would you describe his decision-making process? It's interesting. Interesting. That's a word I would use. Sure.
Of any person I've ever met. And I think it's what makes him such an effective leader is that when he actually is thinking about doing something, he doesn't just ask his closest advisor or some policy person. If it's going to affect a business, he'll call the business's CEOs. He'll go and try to talk to the workers. He tries to take inputs from everywhere. And I think it's one of the reasons why he's so in tune with where the American people actually are. But it's also, I think, one of the geniuses of the way that he makes decisions is that he actually tries to talk to everybody. And that's something, honestly, I could write a book just about the way that he gathers information from all sources.
And doesn't understand any of it.
And it's very unusual. I mean, in Washington, most politicians, if it's a national security issue, they'll talk to their national security person and maybe, somebody else in their office. If it's
Really? They don't think to call a waiter at Denny's or something like that, or go door to door in the neighborhood going, hey, I got this problem with the Iranian centrifuges. Is there anything you could help me with? Sir, read this top secret document.
It's a business issue. Maybe they'll talk to a CEO. The president talks to everybody, and that's a very, very profound thing about the way that he actually operates and
Right, because he has no idea what he's doing, and he tries to basically he's doing a popularity poll, which is not good.
Washington.
Real quick, how many people did he consult before he brought up the idea of nuking hurricanes? How many? 8? Of the 37 people he randomly talked to playing fucking golf or at the omelet bar at Mar-a-Lago or the waiters in his fucking buildings or the circle of people who only tell him that he's brilliant, how many of those did he talk to before they went, hey, I have an idea. Most people probably wouldn't. Have you thought about nuking them? Huh. I'll remember it.
I would describe him as a force of nature, and there's nobody else like him.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he's a force of nature. All right.
And I think in many ways he's misunderstood as well, because I know the personal side of him and I know the business side of him. And as we've seen hundreds and hundreds of executive actions, and you've been here barely a little over a week now.
Yeah.
Speed of light. It's speed of light.
Yeah, he didn't write any of them, dummy. It's Project 2025. It's exactly what we were warning about, and it's exactly what he's fucking doing. They have to tell him what the fuck he's signing. He's not getting, this should be part of the thing is okay, day one, here's what my strategy is. I want each of these to day one, we're going to deal with these things or whatever, and we'll do them in this order because I want to talk about them this way. So we'll bring in the immigration pieces first. We'll do those. Then I want to do stuff about the reorganization of government. Then I want to do stuff that goes towards our tax policy. The following day, I want to do reprioritization stuff. So we're going to do that, and you have a meeting in the morning before this, and then you bring those in, and I'll make the point of what they are. And so we'll have them in order. We'll have a little cheat sheet for me so we know, because there's several of them, and I just want to go through each one, and I'll go, okay, this one's, this is that guy, peruse it. Excellent. Okay, so this one we created because, and I had a part in it to yada, 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 right? That's what you would do if you actually gave a fuck or you had anything to do with it. But these were all pre-printed before he stepped in. Same as Mitch McConnell's fucking tax break. Mitch McConnell had that tax bill in his goddamn desk for 10 years. Trump didn't come in and go, I got this great idea for taxes. They went, would you mind signing this if we could get it passed? And he's like, sure. Does it mean I pay less taxes? Yeah. Okay.
No, we've, I think, accomplished, honestly, more in 8 days than...
You haven't accomplished anything. Executive orders just prioritize what the administration's slush funds are, and you're grinding a bunch of shit to a halt. You're not accomplishing anything. These aren't accomplishments. These are directives.
And the entire Biden administration accomplished in 4 years. And of course,
infrastructure bill. Fuck you.
of course, the things that we're accomplishing are actually good things, and the things they were accomplishing were mostly bad things.
Yes, the infrastructure bill, the CHIPS Act, the rescue package. Sorry, what have you done that has any permanence other than the attempted damage?
But the president has incredible energy. I mean, this is something you hear other people say about him, and it's hard to really appreciate it until you're up close and personal. I don't know how much he sleeps or if he ever really sleeps. I mean,
yeah, that's not good. Honest to fucking God, it's not good. I don't want a sleep-deprived sociopath making life and death decisions.
you'll get phone calls from him.
I can answer that. He doesn't sleep a lot.
You'll get phone calls at 1 a.m.
Also, yes, he does. He falls asleep and he wakes up in fits. He doesn't sleep through the night because he's unhealthy.
And he'll just, he'll talk about policy and he'll talk about your family. And he just, there's something incredibly
lonely
about him. But you sort of need that, actually. The federal government has become so sprawling and the bureaucracy is so unresponsive to what the president actually wants to do that you kind of need somebody in there who's constantly on. It's all gas, no brakes. That's certainly what we've seen in the last, 8 days.
Yes, if you have someone, say, driving a car and your children in the back, you clearly want all gas, no brakes. That would be, that would be helpful, smart, productive, safe.
I think that's what we'll see for the next 4 years.
When you look at, for example, the two biggest issues in this campaign, immigration and the economy.
Sure.
And because that's impacting the people in Ohio.
Of course.
Right?
Yep.
That's impacting their life hard. And
That's
a lot of Americans have been really hurt. There was a study that came out, like 56% of Americans can't withstand a $1,000 emergency.
Oh, fuck off with this. Marianne Williamson talking point. No. That report started at 600, went to 1,000. And you know who put that report together? Do you guys know? Do people know where that story comes? Because I've heard it from every fucking quarter, over and over. Most people don't have enough money to handle a $400 or a $600 or $1,000, in his case, emergency. Bullshit. Most people wouldn't pay cash for it. They have enough credit, or they have a credit card, or they have money coming in. But the report itself was done by a company that was trying to sell to employers employee savings accounts, where your employee, you know how we do Social Security, the government does Social Security, the company should do their own version of Social Security. Basically, you create a $500 account that has to be kept up by your, like a savings account at work. So we take some of your wages every month and we put it in that. And so you guys, if you have an emergency, you can come to your boss and ask for your fucking money. And the company gets to keep this big slush fund of money from all these different people that they can actually get the fucking interest from. So they'll make interest on that money that's just fucking sitting there. It's a sales pitch. The majority of Americans have access to somewhere in the order of like $5,000 worth of money from themselves, their savings, and their friends and their family, on average. And that's an old number. Well, right, like a 401k. Except a 401k, you don't get to write off, and the company gets to keep all of it. Like if they fire you, what do? Get it back? Is that where your severance comes? It's just horseshit. Like, it's annoying. That's where that lie came from, okay? They created the study so they could sell the product. So fucking dumb.
See,
Sure.
you know, it would be devastating for them. That scares me. I've been there. I've lived there. I know you've been there.
Of course.
Not fun. Not
Yeah.
where you want to be.
Not fun at all.
And when I think
He means not fun to be around, what, immigrants?
of, you know, the issue of immigration in particular, I'm looking at, we have known terrorists in this country.
Yes,
we
we
have
do.
known
Yeah, Jan 6ers. Trump just let 1,500 of them out.
cartel members, known gang
Oath keepers.
members. We have known murderers, rapists, and I'm watching the reaction of the left.
Also, yeah, they're in jail. They get broomed out all the time. No. That's not who we're talking about. Neighborhood raids aren't about getting those folks out, and those folks automatically aren't who we're protecting.
And the left-wing media and the Democrats, and you know,
Oy.
we're back to Nazi fascists, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, and I'm
Yep.
like, what part of these other people are you missing?
No, it's totally
It's totally...
crazy, Sean. And if you
Thank
look,
you,
there was the
Colleen.
guy who went viral a few days ago that we deported, 17 violent criminal convictions, and was actually saying... The
guy from Haiti.
The guy from Haiti. He was saying, I hate Trump, I love Biden because Biden wanted me to stay in this country. Is there a better endorsement of Donald J. Trump that a violent criminal who shouldn't be in this country doesn't like him because Donald Trump is actually enforcing the immigration laws of this country?
I don't know. Are you all of a sudden for all the campus protesters who were calling Joe Biden Genocide Joe? They ate his guts. Some of them even voted for Trump or didn't vote at all so Trump could get in. How'd that work out? Do you like those guys now?
Country, and it's everywhere, Sean. It affects
No, it isn't.
everybody from all walks of life. It's the drug epidemic. It's the crime. It's the fact that if you live along the southern border, you're affected by this cartel activity. I mean, we've seen, Sean, just in the last couple of days, multiple cartel members have fired at our own border patrol. And you ask
From Mexico.
yourself, why wasn't that happening a couple of years ago? Because they weren't empowered to do their job. The border has become so lawless.
What? No. They didn't get... This shootout didn't happen in America. These guys took pot shots at them. We've had this shit happen before. There was remember that big fucking shutdown with when the gangs were like commandeering trucks at fucking ports?
That we're actually engaging in military-style engagements just to regain control of our southern border. And thank God we're actually doing it this time, because if we had another 4 years of Biden and the Democrats' wide-open southern border, it would permanently, I think, irreparably transform this country. So yeah, we're doing immigration enforcement in a big way. We're also doing things to lower the cost of energy, because of course, if we can lower the cost of energy, we're going to make food and housing, groceries, everything else more affordable for Americans.
No, you're not. No, you're not. Because eggs didn't go up because of the price of fucking gas. They went up because of swine flu, and you're not going to do anything about it. And your HHS secretary doesn't even think it exists. What are you going to build houses with if it's not Canadian wood? Are you just going to start chopping down forests everywhere, and the states are just going to say, cool?
Citizens. And that really is, you're exactly right. That is the two prongs of the Trump agenda. We want to create more prosperity and we want to create more security. And we're doing a lot. We're going to do a lot more.
I want to ask about the economy in a second, but we saw Tom Homan. I mean, I don't think there's anyone
Talk
more...
about a force of nature.
Yeah. I've tried to make him smile. I've had no luck. If you pull that off, that would be a miracle. But I've known him a long time. I have a great admiration for him.
Me too.
And almost 10,000 deportations, and some of the toughest criminals. Kristi Noem out on that ICE raid in New York yesterday. She was on TV with us last night.
Yeah, cosplaying.
Amazing. 10,000 in a week. The president looking for, what, 1,800 a day?
That's right.
And you know, that's a pretty ambitious goal.
It's ambitious, but you need a leader who sets ambitious goals and actually holds people to meeting those goals. If you think we've got 20 plus million illegal aliens in this country,
no, we don't.
We have got to get these people out of our country and
Also, by the way, if you do a couple of 100,000, it's going to look like an enormous number because of the amount of people on trucks and airplanes and all that kind of shit. So they're going to pretend that they're brooming these 10 million people out. But he's going to say in 6 months, we're down to like 10 million people in this country, because that's exactly how many are here right now. And they're going to have shaved off like 30 or 60,000 people, because, you know, maybe equaling or slightly higher than what, you know, the Obama administration or the Biden administration did at any given time. It'll be like that much higher, but they're going to make a big show out of it. That's why he wanted the military planes. That's why he wants it all photographed. That's why he wants fucking Dr. Phil wandering around.
Gain control of our own border. And it's not just the people that we're deporting. If you look at the number of illegal entries on January the 19th, the last day of the Democrats' administration, I believe the number was north of 1,300 illegal entries. 5 days later, we had already cut that by more than 60%, and I guarantee we're going to cut it even further. Policy matters. Elections have consequences.
Yeah, but sorry, I'm supposed to just trust your fucking numbers? Right? Is that... we're just supposed to take your word for it. Is that how it works? For real? How do I know those numbers are true? Maybe you just went down there and, well, there's nobody crossing here, and then you just start telling a better story.
And President Trump ran explicitly on regaining control of the border and redelivering American prosperity. That's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, but he's been asked several times, and I'm sure no one will bother to ask you how you do both of those things at the same time if you don't have a corresponding workforce to replace the people you are kicking out, because the vast majority of people aren't cartel gang members and shit like that. They're working under the table, or they're working low-wage jobs. They're working in food processing plants, or an agricultural worker in construction, roofing, and all that kind of shit. And if you're going to broom those people out, and you're already at 4% unemployment, where do you get the people from? That's it. Where do they come from?
It is funny, Sean, to hear the media and the Democrats howl about this and say, well, you know, this is bad, this is terrible, you know, this is, like you said, fascist, Nazi, blah, 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 blah. The president promised the American people he was going to do this. They gave...
Yeah, no. You don't get to rewrite what we say. Every president gets rid of violent criminals and kicks people out based on that idea, and every president has people who slip through the cracks, or the locals maybe aren't up to snuff with what somebody's charged with, and they get them out. It's happened in every presidency, including Trump's last one. So the idea that we're for that is just fucking garbage. Nobody was for the death of Laken Riley. Nobody was for the release of the guy who did it. Like, it just happened, and it's part of the bigger picture, but it's not indicative of the bigger picture. And so you don't get to paint everybody that way. You don't get to, let's say you busted a guy for being a sexual predator. Oh, hi, Murph. You busted a guy for being a sexual predator or something like that, and he happened to be Jewish. So you're like, this justifies Auschwitz. That's the point. That's what you're saying. Murph, why are you going in the closet? What are you doing, man? Hold on one second. I think you guys need to see it while he's here. Murph, what are you doing, buddy? What's happening? What's going on? Why are you in here? What's up, buddy? Hi. Come here, buddy. I know, come here. Hi, how are you? I know you hate it. Can you at least say hi? But you're such a handsome man. You are. You're a handsome man. He doesn't like being held very much. I know. You're such a good boy, though. All right, come on. There you go. Hold on. There you go. Just hop right in there. You're fine. Yeah, I'll shut it. There you go. You're fine. Just hang out in there. You're okay. Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, you're fine, buddy. Hi. Yeah. I'll give you scratches right here. Excuse me for a moment while I scratch the cat. That sounded dirty. Up, buddy. Up, buddy. Yeah, you okay? All right, I'm going to open the outside door so you can leave again, because it was supposed to be shut, but you... I know. Here you go. I'll close it slightly. If you guys hear meowing and I don't hear it, let me know. That's Murphy. Murphy's very talkative.
Gave him a mandate, so now he's doing it. That's how democratic politics in this country works, and thank God for that.
If I was in your position or President Trump's
I would watch what you eat.
position, and I never will be, let's be clear. But if I
Yeah, that's true.
was, I think what would keep me up at night is the fact that we have known terrorists in the country.
Sure.
And we have murderers in the country, and rapists, and violent criminals, cartels, and gang members, as I said. I'm worried about an
And friends of Jeffrey Epstein in the White House.
attack on the homeland.
Oh, sorry, I didn't pop. You're right. Thank you. I forgot. It doesn't automatically go to my boink. There we go.
Vice President, how worried are you?
Well, look, I am worried, Sean, because we were given a country with hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe more of
Maybe dozens, maybe none.
known terrorists that are in the United States of America thanks to the open borders of the last administration. So it's our job to worry about it so that hopefully we can prevent that attack. So it's something that does keep us up at night. It's something.
Can I just say real quick? Vigilance is not worry. Okay? One is active, one is passive. Vigilance is not worry. It is your job to be vigilant, not to worry. Worry is what people do about things that are out of their control happening, you dumb motherfucker.
Something that the government is working on very aggressively. We've got great intelligence services. We've got great border enforcement. We're trying to
Yeah, thanks to Joe Biden, you're going to be firing half the people.
identify the bad guys and get them out of our country.
How? If you're going to shrink the government down to a size where they can drown it in a fucking bathtub.
Because, look, what you don't want to have happen, Sean, is let's say we take a foreign policy action that some foreign terrorist organization doesn't like. Well, now these guys, they're not in Syria or some foreign country. They're in our backyards. They're in our cities. We have to get them out to make the homeland safer, but also to empower the.
Sorry, real quick. So you're just going to take like a Japanese internment camp preemptive strike position about people? So let me get this straight. A Yazidi or a Christian from Syria who escaped persecution, who moves to the United States, you're going to broom them out and eliminate their asylum claim because they're from Syria, even though they're Christians and they left to escape the persecution, the very same persecution that led people to get on the goddamn Mayflower. That's the plan? Yeah, good luck worrying, asshole.
President to do the things that he needs to do when it comes to national security. So it does worry me, but we also have a government that's actually tackling this issue. It's getting better every single day.
How do we find them? I mean, you have known terrorists, but you don't know where they are.
How do you even know they're terrorists then?
Known cartel members, but you don't know where they are.
Well, it's crazy.
Do you even know where the cartels are? Maybe start there.
Crazy, Sean. Sometimes you're right. We don't know where they are. Sometimes we actually do. And that's one of the craziest things of the last week.
Yeah, that's you know what I would recommend? Look at the membership rolls at Mar-a-Lago.
Just for me, you ask what is shocking to me, it's that many of these violent criminals, we knew their addresses, we knew their names, we just needed to send somebody to go to their house and get them the hell out of the country. That really should shock.
No, not many, like 6. And they were out on bail over other things. Or they committed a violent crime in another country and the locals didn't know.
The American people.
We've known where they are.
Exactly.
And we've known they've had terror ties.
We've known at least that they had violent criminal backgrounds.
Right.
And we haven't done anything until about 8 days ago when Donald Trump became the president.
No, we've kicked a bunch of them out. You're just lowering what the standard is to like word of mouth.
The United States again.
You can be accused when you lower the standard to somebody you have to be convicted of assault or charged with assault to just somebody accuses you of assault. Then somebody in your neighborhood can literally bounce you just by accusing you of something, and that makes it easy. That shit tons of that are going to happen.
It really should shock the conscience of the American people. One of the things you heard on the campaign trail, one of the criticisms of me and of the president was, well,
you're a silly person. You look silly. You act silly. You have no personality. You're basically a balsa wood human. You're courting racists while you have a a wife who's Indian and mixed children, and yet you play nice with these assholes who consider them subhuman and believe that they are of weaker stock, and you pretend that Trump is smarter than you just to get a job, and he very well might be, which doesn't say a lot.
Yes, we have 20 million illegal aliens. We have
no, we don't.
Close to 1 million violent criminal illegal aliens.
No, we don't.
And we don't know where they are. It turns
all right. No.
out we actually do know where a lot of them are. We just haven't had immigration enforcement, and that's what's changed so radically.
That actually gives me hope that we can protect the homeland, because I would imagine if you're a terrorist and you're...
Oh, good. Sean, hey, everybody. Sean's not worrying anymore. He feels better. And I know a lot of you were convinced that he was upset and, he was good, this was going to stick, but I think he sees a ray of hope in JD Vance. In your eyes, the light, the heat, your eyes, I am complete, your eyes.
You're not here to pursue a better life for you and your children.
Right. Yeah.
You're here to plot, plan, scheme the next attack on our homeland. And I
Wait, that's your opinion of his vice presidency? Oh, you're talking about the other people.
lived through 9/11. I don't want to live through that again. I don't want to lose 2,977 Americans again.
Yep.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
Yeah, I don't want a bunch of dickheads attacking police officers. How about we meet in the middle, you dipshit? Okay, here's the second half.
Caroline Levitt, I watched her yesterday. I thought she did a great job.
I agree.
And
great job.
I thought it was...
Yes, she was fantastic. It's the best shrill, out of breath one I've seen since Sean Spicer was sent out with the unenviable job of trying to bullshit his way through Trump's inauguration numbers. Thank God nobody. I mean, lucky her, she didn't have to do that again once they moved it indoors. Phew!
Warren, and it's a very hostile room.
Yes, it was.
As you had your moment with Margaret Brennan, although I don't think she had a very good day over the weekend, my humble opinion. But I watched her with the media, and she was very forceful and
loud. Yeah.
And then you turn over to NBC, and everyone from Liberal Joe to Joy Reid to Nicole Wallace and Rachel Maddow, and it's not. They're back to their closing argument in the campaign.
Sure.
Nazi, fascist, racist, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but in their defense, they're really just talking about his nunt.
It seems like they haven't.
I mean, he's the first president that can throat queef. That should mean something.
Haven't learned a thing. But here's my question.
Can you kick my ass?
If they're going to go there, and they're going to make such insane allegations, when you're trying to get rid of criminals that have been murdering, raping, and responsible for other crimes against...
They have a loose responsibility for those other crimes?
Violent crimes against Americans. Why are they even in the White House press briefing room? Why?
Well, none of the people you named were in there. They're not in there. The channels are, but don't you want them to carry your message, period? I mean, you're talking about the referential people. You're full of shit, Sean. This is America. And I support your right, Sean Hannity, to be completely and blazingly full of shit. Good for you. You have made a great living being completely, blazingly, brutishly, and stupidly full of shit. And the idea that you would take that away from any of your fellow Americans, I find disgusting, sir. I find it hypocritical. Shame on you, sir. Everyone has the right, although probably not the ability, to be as full of shit as you are.
What was so interesting, just to give some more kudos to...
It is interesting. Has he said interesting yet? Is anything interesting? It's interesting like nobody's ever seen before. I'm waiting for his linguistic tics and Trump's to fuse.
Carolyn, is she didn't have a massive binder. And she did this incredible briefing with all of the hostile media. And then somebody asked her, where was your binder? And she said, my binder's in my head. And I think there's something very interesting...
She means feet binders.
About Donald Trump's approach to governance is he just wants to hire smart, competent people to do the people's business. He's not...
And he doesn't care if they accidentally trigger an international incident by talking out of their ass, and they have to just repeat what he said in the most bullish way possible.
Worried about what you look like, whether you're gay or straight, whether you're black or white. He's just saying if you're smart and you're loyal to the American people, you can have a place in my administration. I think Carolyn really knocked it out of the park. But it does raise an interesting question. I actually think...
Based on what? And I'm glad you've given her a little break, because, you know, even though she's a woman, you know.
That we are looking very seriously about which reporters show up. Because if you're a reporter, even if you're biased towards the left...
I wouldn't consider myself biased towards the left. I'm biased against adjudicated rapists and scumbags being president of the United States and lying about the Project 2025 thing and clearly playing it out. And I have a bias against that. Like anybody else, by the way, any Republican who's seen the evidence against Trump and goes, oh, fuck that guy, right? So I'm glad you're including me.
Absolutely, we want to answer your questions. If you're a propagandist for the Democratic Party, then we're going to treat you like a propagandist for the Democratic Party.
I have a feeling that even if I'm asking a serious question from my point of view, you will treat me as a propagandist for the Democratic Party. Yeah? That feeling at all?
And one of the things that I think we've already done, again, we're only 8 days into this thing, is it's not just who's not there, it's also who is present. And Carolyn had a lot of new media folks, a lot of young...
No, she didn't. She had right-wing fucking podcasters. They were kissing their ass. She didn't pick new media people. First of all, podcasts aren't fucking new. They're named after the fucking iPod, which has been retired.
People who represent, I think, the vanguard of news media in this country. She gave...
Yes, half understanding of an issue and guess the rest.
Matt Boyd's situation when it comes to security around the president.
Really?
And I really do think that he's going to serve 4 years, do a great job, and I'm going to do as good of a job I can for the American people as vice president.
He's very low.
So not great. You're not going to.
Low energy like Joe. North Carolina, Vegas, and California in a day.
Well, and of course on the phone the whole time, taking calls, making phone calls.
I don't know. I gotta say, on the one hand, this like go thing, like you guys give me shit because there's this perception that I'm streaming all day, every day, all the time. When I'm really, and I have my blocks. I go over sometimes, and we go long on things like tonight, a couple minutes, but. I'm in bed 8:30, 9 o'clock when I don't have a show at night, and I'm up at 5 a.m. And if I need a nap, I take one. And if I have to drive a long way and I'm tired, I pull over and do all this stuff. And I believe in drive, but like you guys get worried about like my health if I'm, burning the candle at both ends and trying to light the middle. And I'm not like a Diet Coke head like this motherfucker. I exercise. I eat right. Trump's a fucking mess. And I don't know how anybody around him isn't just going every time they watch him eat. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of, I don't know how he does it until it doesn't work anymore. I don't scream all day. That's true. I try to only scream once every 2 weeks. Mostly just to dust off my vocal cords. And Hal, and you take Geritol every day? Yes, but I, rectally, because I feel like it's got more power that way, and I enjoy the menthol. Yeah, I don't know how anybody around him actually believes this bullshit, and they say it so much. He's got great energy. He's totally gonna serve great 4 years and 4 years. Like that doesn't come up unless people around you are going, I don't know, dude. All the time.
The other thing about his energy level is he's extremely accessible, right? And I know it's kind of shocking to the White House press corps, to everybody in Washington, that the president actually is engaged in the people's government. That's, of course, exactly what you want, but it is a very radical departure from the last 4 years.
Also, first of all, what do you mean he's very accessible? Anybody could just barge into the Oval Office and ask him a fucking question, like Mike Pillow or the Overstock dude or Don Jr. or whoever does his under the table books for his fucking company. What do you mean accessible? Should he be?
Hey, Sean Hannity here.
Okay, so that was the it. Hey, Sean Hannity, do my fucking thing. All right, let's see. Now, go back to here. All right, so obviously I still have some stuff to work on this version of OBS, or it's going to crash everything. Like, how do we, let's see. Close that. How do I close fucking, well, I'll get it later. Right click taskbar and task manager. This is what I have to do. I got to go through and start shutting shit down that's eating up memory. And what's this? Very low, moderate, low, low. Okay. Cam helper. That sounds good. I'm looking at things that are fucking with my, let's go to power usage and put them in that order. Come on now. Yeah, so what am I doing in memory? I'm not using a ton of it. It's not gacking things up, so it's obviously something it's a crossed wire. Okay, I'll work it out. I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna do some fucking homework, and you know what I think? If I'm looking here, it looks like the kidney has done.
The kidney has a very special place in the heart.
Great.